Hello, everybody. Welcome to your second video class here at English Learners. I'm Jules. This is the class using the book Optimise A2. Okay, and the group is on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30. Okay, so you guys know who you are. Very good, everybody. All right, so I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're not too bored at home, and I hope you're practicing your English. Okay, as always. Okay, so let's start today's class. All right, now today's class we're going to be doing some grammar. Okay, and it can be it can be a little bit complicated, so you have to pay attention. Okay, so let's go to a page in our workbook, which is page 60. Okay, I think it should be page 60. Okay, and it should be in Unit 6, Grammar 1, Present Perfect Simple with ever and never. Okay, present perfect simple. Now, okay, so we have the page. Let's have a look. All right, so some of you, now you may know the past simple. Okay, we've studied this before. This is another past tense. Okay, but it's a little bit different. Okay, and we're going to have a look. All right, so first it says we have to find the sentences on text on page 59 and fill in the missing words. Okay, well, you can have a look and see if you want, but we'll go ahead and just jump straight to the answers. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so it says online shopping changed the world of fashion. Okay, so it should be online shopping has changed the world of fashion. Number 2, what other things have changed the world of fashion? Number 3, have you ever worn a t-shirt made from old plastic bottles? And the last one, I've never visited the store. Okay, I've never visited the store. So these are all examples of present perfect sentences. Okay, all things in the past. Now, if you noticed, for each one, we use the verb have, okay, and we use the past participle form of the verb, okay? I shall tell you more about this in a minute, all right? So if you notice, we have or has, depending on the subject, okay? We also have questions like this. I'm sure you've heard a question like this before. Have you ever? Okay, when you ask somebody about if they've done something in their life at any point. Okay, and the same with this phrase here, I have never. I'm sure you've heard the phrase I have never. Okay, talk about things, experiences that you haven't had. Okay, so yes, so make sure you write those in your pupils book, please. Okay, you have everything? All right, 100%. Excellent, guys. Good job. Very good. Okay. So before we go to the notebook, we'll just read this this little box here. It says, we use present perfect simple to talk about past action when the time they happened isn't important or isn't known. Okay? So it says here, I've bought lots of pairs of shoes. Okay? We use present perfect to talk about experiences. He's been to lots of fashion shows. Ever and never are often used with the present perfect simple in questions and negative sentences. Have you ever seen one of these? I've never worn a tie. Okay, so I will give you a bit more of an explanation now. All right, so let's open our notebooks. Okay, let's go to our notebooks. Very good. And we're going to have the title Present Perfect. Okay, Present Perfect. And as always, we have the date, okay, which is Friday, the 20th of March. All right. So, copy this down in your notebook, okay? And we're going to copy down all of these notes, okay? Copy all of this down, all right? But I suggest you listen first before you copy, okay? So, the present perfect is made using have and the past participle, okay? We always need the verb have. It's the auxiliary verb for the present perfect, okay? So, right, let's look at some examples. I have seen this movie. Mark has cleaned this room. All right, so these are positive sentences, okay? Make sure you use the verb have in the correct form, okay? Depending if you're talking about yourself, right? If you say I have, or you're talking about somebody in the third person, okay? He has, Mark has, okay? Pay attention to this. Let's look at some negative sentences. We haven't eaten lunch. She hasn't finished her work, okay? So here we've just put a negative, the negation on the verb have, okay? We have eaten lunch, we haven't eaten lunch, okay? Or you can say we have not, of course, okay? And then if we make a question, it changes a little bit. Have you played football today? Has Laura visited the museum? Okay, so here we use the verb have, okay, before the subject, okay? Instead of saying you have, we say have you, okay? And then the past participle, all right? So the order of the words change, right? If it's a question, all right? Remember this. Now, you may be wondering, what is the past participle? Okay, now the past participle is just another past form of the verb, okay? With regular verbs, it's made using ed, just the same as past simple, all right? So play becomes played, okay? And for irregular verbs, the word changes, okay? So see becomes seen, for example. Now, to find out the past participle of irregular verbs, okay, when we have our verb table, all right, it's the third column, okay, the third column in the verb table. All right, so you have the first column, which is the regular verb, which is the normal form of the verb, the second column, which is the past simple, and the third column, which is the past participle. Okay, so this is the form you need when you're using the present perfect. All right. A lot of times people memorize the three forms of each verb, okay, and you often say them together. All right. For example, see, saw, seen. Okay. Fly, flew, flown. All right. I'm sure you know a few more. Okay. And sometimes the word doesn't even change. One of my favorite ones: put, put, put. Okay. So that's what the past participle is. Okay. So make sure you copy all of this down in your notebook. All right. Just like it is here. Okay. Pause the video if you need some time. All right. Finished? Excellent. All right. Let's continue. So again, in your notebook. All right. Now we're going to look at the uses of present perfect in more detail. All right. So present perfect is used to talk about actions in the past where the time is not important. Okay. For example, I have finished my homework. All right. I have finished my homework. Doesn't matter when. Okay. What matters is it's finished. Okay. I have finished my homework. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make another example like this. Okay, so something in the past where the time is not important. Okay, if you can't think of anything, say one thing you have done today. Okay, for example, today I have eaten a sandwich. Okay, so think of one thing that you have done today and you can write that in here. Right, another way we use it is to talk about experiences. Okay, interesting things that you've done in your life. Okay, maybe you've done them many times, maybe you've only done them once. Doesn't matter. The important thing is the experience. Okay, let's have a look at an example. I have visited a lot of countries. Okay, I have visited a lot of countries. So I'm telling you about my experience. Okay, an interesting thing that I've done. Underneath, I'd like you to make your own example, okay, of something interesting you've done in your life. Okay, so for example, you can say I have visited the Eiffel Tower, or I have been to London. Okay, so something interesting that you've done in your life. Remember to use have and the past participle. Okay, excellent. Now, what we're going to be concentrating on a little bit more today is these uses. Okay, so to ask about experiences. Okay, and here we use the word ever. Okay, ever, and we only really use this when we're asking about people's experiences. Okay, so right, I'm sure you've heard more examples of this. Okay, but a typical question would be, have you ever ridden a horse? Okay, so it's kind of saying in your life, have you ridden a horse? Have you ever ridden a horse? Okay, We ask questions like this in English all the time. All right, it's a very common way to ask a question. So what I'd like you to do is make your own example again. Okay, have you ever, and then think of something. All right, think of an action. Have you ever seen a ghost? Have you ever eaten insects? Have you ever killed a person? Okay, good. And our last use here is to talk about experiences that haven't happened yet. Okay, and I'm sure you know this as well, right? Using the word never. Okay, so something that you have not done in your life, not even once. Okay, and it's very easy to use. We just say I have never. Okay, so me, for example, I have never visited Rome. I would like to, but I have never visited Rome. All right. So underneath, I'd like you to write your own example of something you have never done. Okay. So when you're finished, you should have all of this copied in your notebook. Okay. And you should have one example. Okay. For each use of the present perfect. All right. Excellent. Very good. Okay. So when you finish this, we can go back to the pupil's book. Now, remember, if you need time, you can always pause the video. Good. Okay. So let's start with our exercises. Okay. And we'll just go through them. Practice makes perfect, as always. So, our first exercise is we're going to write questions using have you ever. Okay? Have you ever? So, all the questions will start like this. What we have to do is find the verb and we have to put it in the correct form, which is the past participle. All right? Okay, so now when if you're not sure about the verb, if it's an irregular verb and you're not sure what the past participle is, you do have a irregular verb table in your book, okay, at the back of your book, and it should be in page 167. All right, and it should look like this. Okay, so if it's an irregular verb and you don't know what the past participle is, look in your table. Okay, find the verb. All right, and then we want to look here in this third column that says past participle. Okay. Good. All right. So we'll look at the example, right? It says, have you make a meal for your family? All right. So we just say, have you ever? We have the verb make. Okay. That's an irregular verb. So let's have a look on our table. Find it. Here we go. Make, made, made. Okay. So made is the word we need to use. All right. So it says, have you ever made a meal for your family? Okay. Let's do number 2 altogether, and I'll let you do the rest on your own. Okay, so I'll open this up. So, all right, have you ever made a meal for your family? So the next one is you travel by train alone. Okay, let's see, what is our verb? Our verb is travel. Travel is a regular verb. Okay, so all we need to do is add ed. Well, double L and ed. Okay, and we start the question like always, have you ever? So it should be, have you ever traveled by train alone? Have you ever traveled by train alone? Okay. All right. I'd like you to finish numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your own, please. Okay. It should be easy. Okay. Pause the video if you need some time. Okay. All finished? Excellent. Let's check our answers. All right. So number 3, have you ever seen the Eiffel Tower? Number 4, have you ever worn socks in bed? I'm sure some people have. Number 5, have you and your friends ever eaten together in a restaurant? Many times. And number 6, have you and your family ever moved house? Have you and your family ever moved house? Okay. Did you get all of them correct? Okay. Make sure if you've made any mistakes that you correct them. All right. Okay, let's have a look. 100%. Excellent, guys. Good job. What fantastic students you are. Okay, brilliant. So now we should have all of our questions written here, okay? Now, what we have to do now is we have to match the answers to the questions, okay? So we can do this together again. All right, I'll just pull it up here. Okay. So, all right, we have our questions and we have our answers. So the first one is done for us. Okay, it says, have you ever made a meal for your family? All right, and the answer is here. Yes, I have. I've made pizza and salad for my mom a few times. Now note, when we ask these questions, the answer is always yes, I have, or yes, we have, or no, I haven't. Okay, that's the way we answer these questions. All right, so let's look at our next question. Have you ever traveled by train alone? Which is the correct answer? Okay. Did you get it? The answer is E. Yes, I have. I've traveled to Wales alone to visit my grandparents. All right, let's try the third question. Have you ever seen the Eiffel Tower? Look at the answers. Okay, pause the video if you need time. Okay, got it? Let's see what the answer is. F. Have you ever seen the Eiffel Tower? No, I haven't. I've never been to Paris. Okay, good. Let's try number 4. Have you ever worn socks in bed? Have you ever worn socks in bed? Okay, have a look at the answers. Okay, which is the correct answer? Let's have a look. C. No, I haven't, but I've worn a hat. Why would you wear a hat in bed? That's just silly. Okay, anyway. Number 5. Have you and your friends ever eaten together in a restaurant? Okay, we've only got a couple of possible answers left. Okay, you get the answer? That's right, it's B. Yes, we have. We've been to all the fast food restaurants in our city together. I'm sure you and your friends have been to McDonald's many times together. Okay. Last one. Have you and your family ever moved house? What could the answer be? Tricky. That's right, you got it. A. No, we haven't. We've always lived in the same house. Okay, so hopefully you were able to get all of the correct answers for the questions, okay? Let's have a look. Yay, 100%. Fantastic students. Great job, guys. All right. Good. Okay. So let's continue. Okay, let's continue. Now, we'll go to exercise 4 and to exercise 5. All right. And again, exercise 4 we can do together. Okay. Exercise 4 we'll do together. So what we have to do is we have to complete the conversation. Okay. Complete the conversation. Now, before we do this, I'm just going to show you a little thing that could be very important. All right. So a little extra. All right. So I'm going to put extra. Now, should we go to a new page? Extra. Okay, so we have 2 phrases I want to look at, okay, which is I have been to London and I have gone to London, okay? So, both to do with travel, okay? With the verb be and the verb go, right? I have been to London, I have gone to London. So, what's the difference between these 2 sentences? Now, if you say I have been, this means that that means that you went and returned. Okay? You went and returned. right? So that means you went to London, you spent a few days, and then you came back, all right? So you have been to London, right? So I'll say it's like ida y vuelta, all right? Just going and returning, all right? You've been to London. Now, if I say I have gone to London, right? And this means, okay, you went and you are still there, okay? You went and you're still there. So if I say I have gone to London, that means I went to London and I'm still in London now when I'm talking, okay? I've gone to London, right? So for example, I can say, where is Pablo? Right? He's not at home. He has gone to the shop, okay? Which means he went and he's still there, okay? Now, if I say, Pablo has been to the shop and now we have milk and eggs, okay? That means Pablo went to the shop, got some milk and eggs, came back. Pablo has been to the shop. All right, so that's the difference between I have been and I have gone. Okay, so we have to make sure we use them correctly. Now, most of the time, we're talking about trips that we've made, right? So trips that where we went there and we came back, all right? So most of the time, we say I have been, all right, when we're talking about traveling. Okay, that being said, let's continue with this, with exercise 4. Okay, so, okay, you probably guessed the first one. Have you ever been to Paris? To France? Have you ever been to France? Okay, and how do we answer that? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. But my sister has. It says, really? Which cities she been to? Right, it's a question. Which cities has she been to? Only Paris, I think. She loves fashion and art. Right. Has she visited London? Now we're asking about an experience, so we have to use the word ever. Has she ever visited London? There are so many great shops and galleries there. This is a response. No, that's right. No, she hasn't, but she is planning to go there for a short holiday. You been to the UK? All right, it's a question. So we need have. Have you been to the UK? No, I've been there. What's the word if you've not done something? Never. I've never been there. Have you? Yes, I have. I've been to Cambridge. I went to a summer language school there. Okay, good. So hopefully you got all the answers and the conversation makes sense, okay? Read the conversation again and just try and make sure you understand it, okay? Understand the questions, understand what they're asking, okay? And make sure you have all the correct answers. 100% again. You guys are on fire today. Brilliant. Good. All right, so let's continue here, okay? More practice. So here we have a short email, looks like, or a letter, and we have to fill in the gaps. All right, now it gives you in brackets the verb that we have to use. Okay, now this is the main verb, so that means we have to use the verb have, our auxiliary verb, and the verb that it gives us. All right, so if the verb here is have, that means we have to use have twice, right? So, right, first of all, what's the past participle of have? We can have a look on our table. Have. Had. Okay. So let's get this up here. Okay. So we have to use the auxiliary verb have and then put this verb in the past participle. So it should be I have had. Okay. I have had a great week. We've been in the UAE. That's the United Arab Emirates. Okay. Sightseeing and shopping. Today we went to the most amazing place. Now, pay attention here because it's a question. Okay, and if it's a question, we have to change the order. If you're not sure, go back and look at your notes. Okay, and look how you form a question. All right, so it should be, have you ever heard? All right, this is the verb. We have to find the past participle. Have you ever heard of Mall of the Emirates? Okay, so try and finish the rest of the exercise on your own. Okay, and we will correct in a second. Pause the video. Okay, and finish the exercise. Remember, put the verb in the correct form in the past participle. Make sure you put it correctly if it's a question or if it's a negative. All right, have a look. All right, like for example, if it says not, that means it's a negative. Okay. All right, good. All finished? Let's have a look at our answers. Don't worry if it's difficult. Present perfect is not easy to get straight away. All right, it takes time. So let's have a look. Let's continue reading. Have you ever heard of Mall of the Emirates? I think it's the coolest place to shop in Dubai. I have never seen such a huge building. There are 700 different stores and over 100 different places to eat. This week, my parents and I have eaten a lot of delicious food. Inside the mall is a theme park called Magic Planet. It's got 4D cinema and a huge roller coaster, which I have ridden on 3 times so far. It's fantastic, but the best thing is the ski slope. I have never tried skiing, but Dad and I are going tomorrow. Sorry that I haven't written to some of you who sent comments and messages last month, and I haven't forgotten that I promised to post some new photos. I'll post them soon. Okay, good. Well, I hope you got all of them correct. All right. If you've made any mistakes, make sure you correct them in your book. Okay. Make sure you have all the correct answers written down. All right. Did you get them correct? 100% again. You guys are unstoppable today. Great work. Very good, everybody. All right. Well, hopefully you have a better understanding. Okay. So we're going to have some more practice. All right. So here we're going to go to our notebook. Okay. To our workbook. Sorry. Okay. And we have 3 exercises to do. Okay, so this is on page 46 in the workbook. All right, 3 exercises to do. All right, now the first exercise. All right, you just have to complete the sentences using present perfect form of the verbs in the box. Right, so choose the correct verb for each situation. All right, we'll do the first one all together. Let's have a look. Okay, so these are our 5 verbs. Okay, bring, leave, lose, try on, and wear. Okay, you should know these verbs. If you don't know the verbs, look them up on the internet. Okay, on Google Translate or something. Right, so let's have a look at the first picture. Okay, oh, looks like it's got 1 sock on, 1 sock off. Looks like he can't find that sock. Martin, one of his socks, and he doesn't know where it is. Right, so which verb are we going to try? Which verb are we going to use? I think lose. Yeah, lose a sock. So in present perfect, we have to use the verb have, right? So Martin has, and then the past participle of lose, which is lost. Wrong page. Okay, so Martin has. Now, you can put, instead of has, you can put apostrophe s as well. Okay, and Martin has lost one of his socks and he doesn't know where it is. Okay, finish the rest of the exercise. Okay, pause the video if you need to and finish the exercise. Okay, all done? All right, let's correct. Brittany has tried on all of the dresses in the shop. Carly hasn't brought her umbrella with her. She's left it at home. Have you ever worn a suit before? No, I haven't. Okay, did you get them correct? I know you did. Very good. Okay, excellent. Now, I'd now like you to do exercise 2 and 3, okay, again on your own, all right? Exercise 2 is very similar to the one we just did in the pupils book, all right? So have a look if it's a positive, negative, or question, all right? Use the auxiliary verb have and the verb that they give you in the past participle, all right? Okay, so exercise 2, have a go, and then exercise 3, all right? Pause the video, okay, and take your time, all right? There's no rush. There's especially no rush because we're at home and we can have all the time we like, okay? Take your time. All right, all finished? Let's look at our answers. Okay. I'm just going to put the answers up on the screen for you. Okay. All right, so now every time you see apostrophe, okay, it's fine if you write have or has, okay? It's just a short form to write it. Instead of saying I have, we can say I've, all right? Instead of saying it has, it's say it's, all right? And we just use the apostrophe. Okay, hopefully you got them all correct, all right? Make sure you've corrected any mistakes, okay? And now exercise 3. Okay, so that's choosing between ever and never in a lot of the cases. Okay, so if you're asking a question, we say ever, and if we're saying something we haven't done, it's never. All right, so I think that's quite easy. Here are the answers. Okay, make sure you have the correct answers in your book. All right, excellent, guys. All right, so I guess we can finish for today. All right. We will continue with present perfect, okay, throughout the book. All right, it always pops up. All right, and hopefully you understand it a little better today. I have one little homework assignment for you. Okay, I want you to make 3 questions. 3 questions with have you ever. Okay, 3 questions with have you ever. Okay, so that'll be 1, 2, sorry. Okay, so 3 questions. So for example, you can say, have you ever been to Italy? Have you ever seen a football match? Okay, 3 questions with have you ever, and I want you to ask your parents these questions. Ask your mum or your dad these questions, all right? So you could have an interesting question for your parents. So for example, you could ask your mum, have you ever been to Russia, for example? Okay, think of 3 questions and I want you to ask your parents. Hopefully your parents can speak English. Okay, anyway, so what you can do is I want you to, when you've done your 3 questions, okay, I want you to email them to me. We'll take a picture, all right, of the notebook, and then send a picture to english.learners.constantin@gmail.com. Put it all in black. Okay, so you can see it a bit clearer. Okay, englishlearnersconstantin@gmail.com. All right. Okay, so take a photo and send it in there. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. All right. Stay safe. Stay clean. Stay at home. All right, and I'll be back with you next week for more English classes, okay? I hope the class was okay. If there's any problems, anything you need me to do, anything you don't understand, or anything you'd like me to change, just let me know by email, okay? Yeah, we're all trying to adapt to a new situation, so we'll try and make it as good as possible, all right? Okay, have a good weekend, guys. See you later.